Hello, everyone. Welcome to Therapeutic Yoga today. So we're going to do a class to really focus on mobility and balancing through our hip joints. So this is a really great class for individuals, obviously, that are struggling with hip flexibility and mobility, but also a class that would help anyone that maybe has been dealing with any sort of chronic or long-term issues or episodic issues with their back. One of the key things we know we can do to kind of help the pelvis and the back is get the joints above and below mobile and balanced, and we're going to be working on that joint below today. So what you're going to need for class is your yoga mat, your yoga bolster, sort of. We're going to start in sitting, so you could start in a chair. Outside of that, the only thing we're going to be really using the yoga bolster for is something to hold on to for balance. And then you're going to need a yoga strap when we get down to our mat. Nothing that we're going to be doing for the first little bit of class. I would like you to think about getting one more thing for today's class. We're going to be doing some kneeling on a single knee, and we're going to be doing movement while we're kneeling on that knee. So just a little bit of an anatomy lesson for you. You've got a kneecap, also known as your patella. And then underneath that or below that patella, you have your quadricep ligament, patellar tendon, patellar ligament, whatever you want to call it. But it's a nice big piece of connective tissue that connects the kneecap to your lower leg bone, your tibia. There is a padding between that ligament, tendon, and the bone called your fat pad. And that fat pad is very, very, very high in nerve cells. In fact, that's what hurts so much if you ever have an arthroscopy of your knee. And so if you've got any sort of restrictions in that fat pad, that patellar tendon, when we move on that knee, it might be a little sharp or sensitive. Or if you're someone who doesn't like kneeling in the first place because you've got some scars there, it might be a little sharp or sensitive. So if you've got some sort of silicone gel, viscoelastic gel, some sort of foam pad or something like that, grab it so that you've got it to kneel on today. I'm going to be using my yoga jelly, and you only need one because it's when we're moving on a single knee today. But I'm also going to show you how you can make a really easy knee pad to do any sort of yoga activity. So if you've got just a traditional hand towel, if you take that hand towel and you fold it half lengthwise, quarter lengthwise, and then roll it up, kind of take the tension out of it so that it's nice and tight, like you're going to go and flick somebody. Once you've done that, if you roll it into a donut, you make a nice good circle in the center. It does a really good job of decompressing that kneecap and putting some gentle support to that patellar tendon. So option number one, just a simple hand towel in your house. And then when we get into kneeling, you would put your knee into that. Option number two, which is what I'm going to be using, is some sort of knee pad actually made specifically for that. Okay, so now that we've said that, have yourself a seat in sitting. We're going to just gently start with opening our hips in a seating position. Of course, this could be done in a chair if you want to. Allow yourself to roll your pelvis forward, stick your belly out, arch your low backs to see if there's any tension in the front of the hips when you do that. And then allow yourself to roll the pelvis backward, like you're sitting on that tailbone, letting your belly kind of go inward as you do that. So kind of sort of a modification of cat-cow pose, if you want to think of it that way. And then see if you can at home find where's halfway between my roll forward and halfway between my roll backward. Should be somewhere near where those sit bones are. And then I want you to sit on those sit bones today. Have your legs in just a gentle, easy pose, unless your knees are way up. And if that's the situation, gently let your legs kind of fall out to the side so that you can give your hips a little bit more room. Hopefully, this class is for you if that's you at home. But as you have yourself in that gentle little easy pose, the only thing I want you to do is sit up nice and tall, and then picture where your hips are. That's in the front of your leg, not the back of your leg. And just see if you can imagine yourself just slightly hinging forward from those hips to put some weight into your legs. Okay, so now that you're here, All I want you to do is see if you can keep that spine nice and tall. Bring your hands to the center of your heart, and let's kind of get your shoulder blades kind of connected to your rib cage here. So take a nice deep inhale, lift your arms nice and high, kind of raise the roof, reach your hands high up, and then as you exhale, imagine bringing your arms down like they're goalpost, cactus arms, or in the physical therapy world, pivot prone. Can you pull those pinky fingers back? Can you pull those elbows down and really picture those shoulder blades kind of coming back and down and sitting on that shoulder blade, on that rib cage? Okay, now give those shoulder blades a nice good squeeze, and then just gently place your hands back down onto your thighs. All right, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, get yourself in a nice, good seated alignment position. Check in that you didn't lose the weight through your feet when you did that movement through your arms. All right, you're there. So we're just going to start with a balancing breath today. So the balancing breath that we're going to begin with today is what's called square breath. So literally, picture at home in your mind, if you want to close your eyes, feel free to do that. Literally a square. And so what we're going to do is we're going to breathe through all 4 equal sides of that square. So close your eyes if you want to. Keep your eyes open if that's more comfortable for you. But bring your attention down to the bottom left corner of that square. So as you do that, what we're going to do, keep your attention at that bottom left corner, is we're going to inhale for 4 as we move up to the top left corner of the square. We're going to hold our breath for 4 as we move across the top horizontal of the square. And then we're going to exhale for 4 as we move down the right side of the square. And then we're going to hold our breath again as we move down the bottom horizontal of the square. So there's 4 sides to the square. We're going to hold our breath, breathe in and breathe out, all for 4. And we're going to do the breathing exercise. You got it, for 4 times. All right, so let's give it a try. Get that beautiful alignment of your posture. Picture that bottom left corner of that square. And then take an inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last, inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. So we got a nice good balance of our breath there. That's kind of our whole focus for today's class relative to the hips. All right, so here's what I want us to do first. We're going to kind of seek out relieving some tension of those tight hip rotators that might be sitting deep in our buttocks. So allow yourself at home just to kind of move off of your bolster. Don't throw your bolster away. We're going to use it in a few moments, but allow yourself to sit in the center of your yoga mat. Once you're sitting in the center of your yoga mat, left leg, you can place it straight out kind of on an angle from you, or you can just keep that left leg gently into a externally rotated and resting position, like an open easy pose, whichever you prefer. And then here's what I want you to do with this right leg. I want you to see if you can grab your foot and your hand on the right foot and the left hand. So if you can get there, that's a great start. Then you might just stay right there. Option number 2, if you've got it in you, is to see if you can take the crease of your left elbow and place it around the outside of that right foot. So one is a little bit easier modification. One's a little bit more difficult, where I am right now. Kind of like you're holding a little baby in your arms here, and that would be the right leg. That's the baby, obviously. So pick whichever way feels like it works the best for you. And then we're going to roll on and off the hip. But before we do that, we're just going to do a little bit of oscillating in this externally rotated position. So just kind of imagine, if you want, that you're just trying to rock a baby to sleep or something. But what's really happening is where that pressure is on your sit bone and just out to the sit bone, you're just kind of loosening up those tissues by creating a little bit of oscillation, increasing some fluid in the ground substance of the connective tissue, if you really want to know what you're doing. All right, now hold that leg, take your right hand and bring your right hand out to the side. Now, as you bring your right hand out to the side, you kind of roll out onto that right hip. Maybe try rolling a bit back, rolling a bit forward. I want you to find that sweet spot. And then when you're on that sweet spot, rock and roll that baby to sleep. So just gently oscillate right on that sweet spot of your hip rotators and your gluteal muscles. Maybe take a nice deep inhale into your belly here. And then exhaling out. One more deep inhale in. And then exhaling out. Very good. Roll yourself back up. Release that right foot to the floor. And then let's do it all over on the other side. So really all we're doing is warming up those tissues before we really start working on balancing them today. So right leg can gently go out to the side. Left leg can come in. Obviously, the right leg can stay slightly bent and rotated if you wanted to. Whatever works comfortable for you. But easy. Step one, take the left foot and hold it with the right hand. So this might be where you are today as we go into leaning over to the side. Step two, if you want to go a little bit more advanced, can you take your right elbow crease and see if you can reach it around the outside of that left foot? You pick whichever way feels the most comfortable for you. If you're in a point of full tension and pain here, this is not where you should be. All right, so start in the center. And then just gently begin to rock and roll, oscillation, vibration. We know that kind of increases blood flow, increases the fluid between the tissues of the muscles. That is why we're doing it. Just as good as a nice, good dynamic warm up to those hip rotators today. So just doing this for a little bit. Maybe let's take a nice deep inhale here and then exhaling out. All right, now allow yourself to bring your left arm out to the side and slightly back, roll over. You should feel it. You might need to roll back a little bit. You might need to roll forward a little bit. There is a sweet spot that you're on, and it doesn't necessarily feel the greatest, but it needs your love. All right, now that you're on it, rock and roll. Give them a little bit of movement forward and backward. Oscillate back and forth. Create that motion. Don't stay on it and hold on it. That makes it avascular, meaning no blood supply. We're trying to increase the blood flow. Warm it up. All right, take a deep inhale in and then exhaling out. Very nice. You've got it. Slowly bring yourself back up. Drop that left foot to the floor. Now bring the left foot to the inner thigh of the right leg. Take that right leg and slowly kind of point it straight up and away from you. Take your pelvis and keep your pelvis in the forward position right now. Allow yourself to roll and sit up nice and tall. Maybe you already begin to feel that awesome little opening through that right inner thigh. Now, all I want you to do is try to pick up your right leg and make it just a little bit longer. So as you do that, your pelvis gently rotates over to this left leg. Okay, now that you're there in that position, take that right hand, bring it down to the inside of that right leg. Left hand, kind of reach it slightly behind you so that you can imagine that you're lining your rib cage and your arms and your shoulders up with that right leg. All right, let's go into a nice little side bend here. So left hand, inhale it up into the air. And then as you exhale, gently begin to side bend as you slide that right leg down. Now, only go to the point that if you go any further, you feel yourself collapsing forward. We want to stay as close into this plane of movement of side bending as possible. So it's all about that inner thigh today. Hopefully you feel a little bit in your low back, but really it's about these hips today. All right, so keep that left arm nice and long, maybe lengthen your neck, gaze up towards your ceiling. Take a deep, slow inhale into your belly here. And then a slow exhaling out. One more time, nice, slow, deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Left arm, inhale it up, slide the right arm up, exhale, gently dropping that arm down. All right, now without really doing much movement, but that leg that you lengthened on the right side, now all you want to do is shorten that leg. So just take that entire leg and pull it back. As you pull it back, get it to the point that now you feel like your pelvis, your rib cage, everything is pointed towards that right leg. And then this time, left hand, place it to the outside of the right knee. Right hand, bring it kind of behind you so you've got some balance. Imagine, if you can, look at your collarbones and see that they're perfectly perpendicular to that right leg. Depending on if you've got some tension in your hamstrings right now, you might need to put, or sciatic nerve, you might need to point your toes away. If you're not feeling too much through the leg, feel free to go into a little bit of nerve tension and point your toes up. All right, take a nice deep inhale, roll the pelvis forward. You should already feel your hamstrings. So it's a very small forward bend. Then exhale, slowly slide that left leg down the outside of the right calf. Only go to that point that you start to lose the tension in the back of the upper leg, either because it goes behind the knee or it just goes away. Keep that belly nice and forward so that your spine is not curved. Holding right here, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Let's go through that breath. Nice deep inhale into the belly and then exhaling out. One more time, nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Beautiful. Inhale, sliding that left hand all the way back up that leg. And then as you exhale, relaxing yourself there. Okay, so now all we're doing is switching everything to the opposite side. So take the pelvis, place it back centered into your yoga mat, and then gently take the left leg out to the side. Gently bring the right foot into the inner thigh. Get yourself in the neutral position first with your pelvis relative to your legs. Then roll that pelvis forward, sit up nice and tall. Make sure you've got your leg out enough that you already begin to feel some tension into that inner thigh area. All right, so now that you have yourself in that position, the left leg, all I want you to do is try to make it a little bit longer. So picture that you're lengthening it out, and as you do that, your pelvis gently rotates towards that right knee. Okay, left hand, bring it to the inside of the left thigh. Right hand is gently out to the side of you. See if you can get yourself so that you feel like your collarbones, your rib cage, everything lines up with that left leg. And now we're ready. Take a nice deep inhale, lift that right hand up. And then as you exhale, gently side bend, but only side bend to the point that you stop before you start to compress and forward bend. So find that beautiful length of the side of your body. Don't let yourself fall forward. Maybe lengthen your neck, rotate up to the right and gaze to the ceiling. Let's hold this beautiful stretch for our inner thighs. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly and then exhaling out. And one more breath here. Nice deep inhale into the belly and then exhaling out. All right, right hand, inhale it up as the left hand slides up, exhale, dropping it down. Now you're going to make the left leg short. So slowly pull that leg in. And as you pull that leg in, that pelvis kind of points towards that left foot. Again, if we've got some excess hamstring or sciatic nerve tension, keep the toes pointed away so that you shorten that sciatic nerve. However, if you're not really feeling anything in this position, you can go ahead and add some tension to the system. Right hand, bring it to the outside of the left knee. Left hand, gently bring it behind you so you've got that counter support to keep your collarbones and your rib cage perpendicular to that left leg. All right, take that nice deep inhale, roll that pelvis, sit up nice and high, feel it in that hamstring area. And then as you exhale, tip hinge from the hips. Keep that spine nice and tall. Stop yourself from compressing forward through that rib cage. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. You're there. Let's keep the breath going. So take a nice deep inhale into the belly and then exhaling out. One more time, nice, deep, slow inhale into the belly and then exhaling out. Inhaling, sliding, bringing the arm and the body back up, and then exhaling, relaxing in that position. Very nice. So turning the pelvis back to the center, taking the right foot, lining the right foot with the center of your pelvis, rotating that left leg in, finding those feet together somewhere in the center of your pelvis. Now that you have yourself here, Baddha Konasana is our pose that we're in right now. Just gently let the legs fall out to the side. So try not to push into them because that may be not what you need to do right now. That may be causing more imbalance if your hips are weak. Okay, so now just take your hands and interlace your hands and try to bring your hands and basket them underneath your feet if you can. Now, if that isn't possible because of your spine or your hip mobility, just take your index fingers and your middle fingers, find your big toes and just hold yourself in that position. So pick whichever one of those works best for you. Once you have yourself in this position, take a nice deep inhale, roll that pelvis forward, feel the inner thigh on both legs. And then as you exhale, all about the biceps here. So keep the spine nice and long. And as you exhale, pull your chest towards your big toes, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Gazing straight down here, let's take a nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Slowly using your triceps of your arms to push yourself back up into a seated position. Okay, let's get moving with these legs. So we're going to really play with Z pose today. So here's what I want you to do. Take your right leg, straighten it out, and line your shin bone up with the outside of your mat. Then take your left leg and rotate it out and line your shin bone with the top or the bottom of your mat. So a nice big wide Z pose here. Have your pelvis so that it's all the way back towards the edge of your yoga mat. I'm just moving my bolster out of the way a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to be working on today is we're going to be working on movement with breath. So this is left Z pose. So here's what I want you to do. Just simply take your right hand out and to the right of you. Let your legs pick up to neutral. And try to turn yourself, voila, to right Z pose. All right, so what we're going to try to do today is create movement with our Z pose. So how we're going to do that is we're going to inhale as we unwind, and then we're going to exhale as we wind. Got it. So let's give this a try a few times. So take a deep inhale, unwind. And then as you exhale, wind it up into that right Z pose. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, wind it up. Good. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, wind it up. Slow and controlled breath with movement so that you really are paying attention to what those hips are doing. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, wind it up. And one more time, inhale, unwind, and exhale, wind it up. All right, we're going to do one more round of that. So you have two options. Just do the exact same thing we did. If you really want to get deep into those hip rotators on the side you're winding up in, rather than just rotating yourself to that side, when we do that exhale, keep the exhale going and try to bend forward over that leg. Yeah, it's a big movement through the breath, but see if you can do it. So the end of the exhale will be your forehead trying to make it down towards the floor. All right, let's give this a try, ladies and gentlemen. Take an inhale, unwind. And then as you exhale, 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 wind, 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 wind. Get that forehead towards the floor. Very nice. Inhale, unwind. Turning, winding it up, forehead to floor. Inhale, unwind, going to the left. Winding down, winding in as you get the forehead to the floor. And inhale. Exhaling, right Z pose, full pose. Inhaling, last time here. Exhaling to that left full Z pose. And finally inhaling and exhaling to that full Z pose. You got it. Now, everybody come up, but stay in your right Z pose. Let's really find those hip rotators. So take your left hand, line your left hand up on top of that left ankle. Take your right hand, line it up on top of that right knee. Now, left pelvic bone, this front sit bone, this front pelvic bone, your hip pointer, try to pull it forward. So as you pull it forward, your pelvis is going to rotate. Take a nice deep inhale, and then as you exhale, bend your elbows. Bring that chest and that belly over that shin bone. Can you make it down into that full right Z pose? Okay, take a slow, deep inhale into your belly. Then exhaling out, inhaling into your belly. Then exhaling out. All right, very gently pushing yourself back up, holding yourself here in the right Z pose. You can place your hands wherever is comfortable for you. Let's try to train a little bit the internal rotators of the hip. So what we're going to try to do is to lift up the left ankle. Now, note to those at home that have left hip replacements, maybe not try this. So that's a lot of internal rotation for your hip to sustain. So maybe you just stay right here for these couple of breaths. For those of you that don't have hip replacements, here's what I want you to try to do. Place yourself in Z pose. Take an inhale, and can you pick up that left ankle off the floor? And then gently exhale and drop it back down. 2 more times. Inhale, pick it up. Exhale, drop it down. And 1 more time, inhaling, picking it up, and exhaling, dropping it down. Very nice. Now, slowly take an inhale, unwind. Exhale, winding over to your left Z pose. So line yourself up again. Make sure you've got that right shin bone lined up, that left shin bone lined up. We're going to go into the full stretch this time. So take that right hip pointer and rotate it down like you're trying to get towards the left heel. So kind of a modification of pigeon pose, right? Right hand, bring it on top in front of the left ankle, left hand in front of the left knee. Take a nice deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, bend those elbows, pull that chest forward up towards that left shin, and find yourself wherever you are in your full left Z pose. Take a deep inhale into your belly. Then exhaling out. Let's do that 1 more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Slowly inhaling as you push yourself up, but staying in your Z pose, just gently letting your pelvis rotate back. Okay, we're going to work on those internal rotation movements of the right leg in Z pose. So again, please caution. Right hip replacement, people, be careful. That's a lot of internal rotation for those hip replacements to be able to handle. So you might just want to hang out here and breathe. Those of you that want to add the engagement, figure out how to create that movement, hold yourself in Z pose right here. Take an inhale and lift that foot up off the ground. Exhale, slowly dropping it back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Nice deep inhale, lift that leg up, really create that winding up of that hip. Exhale, dropping back down. And 1 final time, inhaling and lifting, and exhaling and back down. Very nice. Unwind yourself out of Z pose and then bring your left foot to your right foot. Turn yourself up onto your knees. Sit yourself back in a quick child's pose before we move on. So check in that your knees are hip distance. Gaze back and see that your feet are kind of lining up with your knees and your hips. Let your belly kind of rest on your thighs, your chest onto your knees. Slowly drop yourself down. Crown of the head goes towards the floor. Let's take 2 nice deep inhales and exhales here. So deep, slow inhale into the belly. And then exhaling out. One more time, nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Gently bring yourself up onto tabletop, hands and knees. Knees should already be in the correct position. So you're just stacking your hips up on top of your knees. Now we're walking your hands forward so that the wrists and elbows are underneath the shoulders. Index fingers are forward. Thumbs are nice and wide in. Let's go through 3 cat-cows here. So take a nice deep inhale, sink the belly down, lift the tailbone. Shoulder blades come back as that chest drops, gazing up with that neck long. Exhaling, curling everything under. Really pull that belly button in, tuck that tailbone under, chin to chest, gaze at your belly button. Okay, inhale, sink it all down, lift that tailbone, lengthen through that front of that neck and gaze up as that chin goes up. And then as you exhale, curl it all under. Curl, curl, curl under, chin to chest, gaze at that belly button. One more time, inhaling, keep the inhale moving throughout that breath. And then as you exhale, curling up, curling up, curling up. Find that full angry cat. Hold it there. Feel that push through those shoulder blades, stretch, and then relax back in tabletop. Okay, so find your bolster. Place your bolster in your left hand as you come up into kneeling, and then bring your left foot forward. Now, by all means, if you're going to use that rolled up towel or you're going to use that yoga jellies, a nice time to do it now. This is not when it's really going to irritate the knee, but by all means, feel free to place that underneath the knee to give it some extra support. Find your hip directly on top of your knee. Place the foot straight behind it. Nice, good. Release through our hip flexors here. All that the yoga bolster is doing is creating some support for us for balance. Once you've got that alignment through your right leg, check in that your left leg is at least that the knee is in line with the ankle or the arch of the foot. All right, rib cage, keep it nice and tall, but don't backward bend your rib cage. So make sure you feel that the rib cage is slightly forward of the pelvis. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, tuck that tailbone under. Feel that opening through the front of the hip. Holding this position, take a nice deep inhale into your belly, then exhaling out. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. You've got it. Slowly drop the left knee down and then just switch yourself. So for you at home, just bring the right foot up, keep the left knee down. I am going to do a quick little 180 just so that I'm still facing you. As I do that, the left knee is down on my support. The right foot is up. The yoga bolster still for my balance. Allow yourself to look back and make sure that that leg is straight back behind that knee. That hip is directly on top of that knee. Right leg is up and out to the side a little bit, and the ankle and the arch of the foot or something near that matches the knee, either or. All right, let's go through a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, tuck that tailbone under. Make sure your rib cage is forward and you're not backward bending. So keep that tailbone tucked under and keep that rib cage either in line or in front of that pelvis. Feel that beautiful stretch to the front of those hip flexors. Holding right here, give me a nice deep inhale and exhaling. One more breath. Nice deep inhale and exhaling. Wonderful job. Slowly dropping that right knee down, taking your bolster, placing it beside you. You are done with it, but we're going to play with something new in class today. So what I want you to do is go so that you're once again in the center of your yoga mat. And that thing that I said to support your knee. So maybe it's that rolled up towel that you're placing underneath your knee right now. Maybe it's not, but put something underneath the right knee and have it so that you can imagine if you were to bisect your yoga mat in half, your knee is resting somewhere in the center of your yoga mat. Okay, come up into kneeling. Yes, you feel a little lopsided because there's nothing underneath your left knee. Now, here's what I want you to try to do. I want you to try to take your left leg and see if you can get your toes as close to that top left corner of your yoga mat. So you are in a nice, big, wide stance. Shouldn't need anything for balance, but if you need to, then by all means, grab that bolster. All right, now here's what I want you to do. The toes and the foot should be pointed at a 45-degree angle from your hip. Your hips are pointed forward. Can you look at your left knee and rotate your hip to line that knee up with the second toe? The pelvis stays pointed forward. Now, for a lot of us, if we've got a tight left hip right now, we're kind of a little cattywampus through our pelvis. So what I want you to do is try to push the left pelvis down. You can even put your left hand into the groin area, the crease of your hip if you need to. All right, now here's what we're going to work on doing. We're going to work on weight shifting and transferring our weight to try to get our knee to stack on top of our ankle. So now we're stretching through the right hip, groin, inner thigh. Then we're going to transfer our weight back until we put the weight perpendicular through our right leg. So we're doing something good for the left leg, an inferior glide of the hip, in fact. We're doing something good for the right leg, stretching through those inner thigh muscles. Can we do this with breath? Let's give it a try. So stay in your upright position. Right leg bone is perpendicular to the floor. Left leg bone is at that 45-degree angle. Take a nice deep inhale here. Then as you exhale, lunge, kind of like a fencer position. Lunge and push that knee up and over that left ankle. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, lunging, lunging, lunging. If your inner thighs are sore tomorrow, you can thank me later. Inhale, coming back up. Let's do that 2 more times. Exhale, lunge and lunge and lunge. Do you now see why there's something underneath your knee today? And finally, inhale, coming back up and exhaling and lunge and lunge and lunge and lunge. Good, guys. Inhale, come back up, slide that left leg in, hands on the floor if you need to, and then take that left knee and place it on whatever it is that you've got into the center of your yoga mat. Line the right foot up with the right corner of your mat. Now, obviously, if you're really tall, you're having to kind of shift things here. This 5-foot person doesn't need to worry about that, but you might need to shift yourself a little bit to one side or the other side on your yoga mat. But get your alignment first. So in the position that we want to be doing this nice, good mobilization for our hips, right now you should be kneeling on your left knee and your leg bone should be perpendicular. Your right leg should be 45 degrees out. Ankle, foot, everything lines up. The second toe and the kneecap, rotate your leg out until that kneecap and that second toe beautifully line up. Let's put those hips and hands together so we can get our balance through our pelvis. So again, a lot of you might be in this position right now. And if you are, try to rotate that pelvis down so that it's nice and level. Let's go through it one time before we add the breath. So what we're going to be focusing on doing is kneeling and leaning forward over the right ankle. You've got it. Then we're coming back over the left knee. So it's just a weight shift to that ankle and then back to the knee. So we're going to do it 4 times, just like we did on the left. One side may feel completely different, by the way, compared to the other side. So start here in your kneeling position. Take a nice deep inhale. Then as you exhale, weight shift and get that weight over to that right foot. Inhaling, coming back. Exhaling, 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 weight shift. Inhaling, coming back. Let's do 2 more times. Exhaling, 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 weight shift. Boy, that's a big stretch. Inhaling, coming back. And one last time, exhaling, exhaling. Find that fencer position. Imagine that you're fencing right here, right? And then coming on back on that inhale. Very nice. Slowly dropping the right knee down, taking the support that you've got for your knee, moving it off to the side. We're done with it. Gently turning your body. Let's go back into that child's pose again. So sit your hips down so that your sit bones and your heels are aligning. Knees are hip distance apart. Just take a nice deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, kind of tuck the tailbone under. So start the flexion at the base and then slowly curl the belly downwards towards the thighs, chest towards the knees. Crown of the head's diving towards the floor here as you're gently resting your elbows on the floor. All right, that was a lot of hip mobility work, a lot. So let's just allow ourselves to kind of be still for a few minutes, open up through our low back in case it had anything to say to us. And then we'll move on to some hamstrings. So take a nice deep inhale into your belly, then exhaling out. Deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. Beautiful. And then gently pushing yourself up, allowing yourself to find your yoga strap, have it beside you, bring yourself up onto hands and knees just to transition yourself onto your back. Once you're onto your back, slowly lowering down through your right or your left side, and then just gently rotating yourself all the way over onto your back. All right, so once you're here, let's just kind of do a simple little opening through our gluteals. So just make sure that you feel like your low back is in a neutral position. And then let's take our right knee to our chest. Shoulder blades are back and down, neck is long, chin is tucked in. Tongue, by the way, is resting on the roof of your mouth. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, just gently pull your knee into your chest. Very nice. Holding that position, engage through your biceps here. Really pull with that arms, and then take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then a slow exhale out. One more time, nice deep inhale into the belly. And slow exhale out. Beautiful. Take your hands and bring your hands to the underside of your thigh. Pull that knee to your chest. Keep it into your chest. Engage that knee as much to your chest as you can and make sure that you don't move it. Then take those right toes and point them up towards your head. Keeping that neck long, that chin tucked. Take a nice deep inhale here, straighten through the leg. And then as you exhale, bend, always keeping the knee to the chest. Inhaling and straightening. Exhaling and relaxing. Let's do 2 more times. Nice deep inhale and straighten. Exhale, relax. And final time. Nice inhale and straightening. And exhaling and relaxing. Beautiful. Slowly lowering the right foot to the floor, taking the left knee to the chest, hands around that knee. Nice deep inhale here. Exhale, pulling that knee into the chest. Allowing yourself to use your biceps to pull it, taking a nice deep inhale into your belly, and then exhaling out. One more time, nice deep inhale into the belly, and then exhaling out. Then slowly taking the hands, bringing the hands to the underside of the knee, squeezing with those biceps and arms as you tightly secure that knee to your chest. And then taking the left toes and pointing them up. 4 times here. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin, tongue to the roof of the mouth. Nice deep inhale as you straighten through that left knee, opening up through those hamstrings, and then exhaling and relaxing. Let's do 3 more times. Inhaling. Exhaling. And inhaling. And exhaling. And one more time, nice deep inhale. And exhale. Very nice. Slowly dropping the left foot to the floor. Now, placing the left foot into the center of your mat, taking your right leg and crossing it all the way up and over your left leg. Once you have that position, get those hands ready. Take a nice deep inhale, pull the legs up. And then on the exhale, try to interlace the hands behind the left knee. So you've got both knees kind of stacked, one on top of the other. Check out that right knee and place it somewhere in the center of your chest. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, pull the knees into your chest. Feel that opening through the right buttock a little bit, hopefully a lot. I don't know. We'll see. And allow yourself to take a deep inhale into your belly here. Exhaling out. One more breath. Deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Slowly releasing the hands from the left foot, dropping the left down to the floor. Uncrossing the right leg, placing the right foot in the center of your mat, taking the left foot, crossing it all the way over the right leg. And then hands up, ready to go. Take a deep inhale, exhale, pull those knees to your chest, interlace the hands behind the right leg this time. Check out that left knee is sitting in the center of your chest. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, arms and big, strong biceps, pull the knees to the chest, lengthen the neck, settle the chin. Feel that opening through your left buttock area, holding here. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then exhaling out. And one more time, deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Slowly dropping the right foot down to the floor. Uncrossing the legs and find your yoga strap. Take the yoga strap and kind of have it so that you've got one part of the yoga strap in the left hand, one part in the right hand. Take the right foot, bring it up towards your chest. Take the strap around that right foot. Once you have yourself there, nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, kick that leg out. All right, once you've got that leg out, take a nice deep inhale, pull that leg up. How high can you get that leg without that knee bending? Once you have it where you feel comfortable and happy, left leg, slide it down the mat. Now, it's all about pelvic balance here. So this is about balancing our hips today. So make sure that you don't let your right pelvis come off the floor. A couple of ways that you can manage that. Right hand, allow your right hand to kind of sit underneath your bottom and sit on it. That's what I'm going to do. Option number 2 is you can just take your right hand and place it on the pelvis and kind of guide when you feel that right pelvic bone starting to lift. You pick which one is for you. I'm going to sit on my right hand today. I'm going to get that right knee nice and straight. Now, guys, take a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, slowly pull the leg across the body. Do not let the right pelvis lift off the floor. Where can you get to? Holding that position, take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then exhaling out. One more beautiful breath here. Deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Right leg, inhaling it all the way back up. And then as you exhale, bending your knee to your chest, kind of opening those straps with both hands. Slide the left foot flat on the floor, then pick the left leg up, put it in the yoga strap, place that right foot down on the floor. All right, same thing here. Allow yourself to take a nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, kick and push that leg away. Then inhaling, lifting that leg up. Where is that point that you feel that if you go any further, the knee begins to bend? Find your point of flexibility. Holding that there, right leg, slide it down the yoga mat. Left hand, 2 options. You can place it on the top of your pelvis, or you can sit on it so you can guide when your pelvis begins to lift off the mat. I'm going to do that one today. Keeping that knee nice and straight, take a deep inhale, and then on the exhale, pull, pull, pull. Where's the point that if you go any further, the pelvis begins to lift? Keep that pelvis down on the yoga mat. Knee straight. Let's do 2 breaths here. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. And one more breath. Nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Left leg, inhaling it straight up. Exhale, bending the knee to the chest. Simply taking the loop away from the foot, placing the yoga strap out to the side of you. Left knee stays into your chest. Slide that right foot up onto the floor. Bring that right knee to the chest to match it. Nice deep inhale here. On the exhale, pull those knees into your chest. Yeah, take a deep inhale here. Exhaling out. Very good. Now start with taking the right foot, letting it place back down onto the mat, then slide the right leg all the way down. Take that left foot, place it on top of the right thigh. Right hand grabs that left knee, left hand out to the side of your body. Take a nice deep inhale here. Spinal twist. As you exhale, let the left knee come to the right. Knee lifts, pelvis lifts, low back lifts, rib cage lifts. Left shoulder blade stays down. And then when you've got yourself in your full spinal twist, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and turn your gaze towards your left hand. Keep that chin tucked in though. All right, take a deep inhale into your belly and then exhaling out. Let's do one more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. All right, bring that head back to the center. Start at that shoulder blade and rib cage. De-rotate the rib cage, the low back, the pelvis, the hip. Place the left foot on the floor. Slide the right leg up. Slide the left leg down. Right foot comes up onto the top of the left thigh. Left hand reaches for that knee. Right hand out to the side of your body here. Taking that nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, pulling that knee across. Pelvis lifts. Low back lifts, rib cage lifts. What a beautiful spinal twist. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Right shoulder blade is down. Turn your gaze towards that right hand. Keep that chin into your throat. 2 deep inhales and exhales here. Deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. And one more time. Nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. Slowly de-rotate that head back to the center. Start at that right shoulder blade and start to unrotate that rib cage, followed by that low back, followed by that pelvis. Finally, that hip. Right foot meets the floor. Slide the right leg up for a moment. Take a moment here to feel that you're doing a gentle pelvic tilt. Brace, tighten through the abdominals with your back nice and straight. Then slowly lower one leg down to one corner of your mat, the other leg down to the other corner of your mat. Once you have those legs resting, relax through the abdominals, let that spine find neutral. Arms come out to the side. All right. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin, close your eyes. Slowly take an inhale into your belly. Then exhaling out. One more time. Nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Hip balance. Lots of movement today. Maybe this class was super fast for you. It might be because we did lots of new things with lots of movement. Hopefully you are nice and present. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Do some circles with your ankles and your wrists. And then when you feel like you're ready, one leg at a time, slide them up and then gently rotate yourself over to your left or your right side. Just rest there for a moment, maybe a breath or two, taking a deep inhale in and exhaling out. On an exhale, allow yourself to use that top hand, that bottom elbow, pushing yourself up, finding yourself in a seated position, maybe a nice, simple, oh, look, easy pose for those hips to do now. And then gently bringing your hands to the center of your heart. Nice, good smile on your face. I hope your hips feel joyous and happy. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then exhaling out. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. Thank you for joining me today.